How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another video, and today what I have for everyone is my full review of the Pixel 3a XL. Now, I've been using this bad boy for a good amount of time, and I feel like I've gathered all my thoughts and opinions on it, so I want to go ahead and share those thoughts and opinions with you guys and gals in this full review here today. So hopefully after this video, you guys and gals know if whether or not this device is worth picking up, even here still in early 2021. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. Now, starting off here, let's talk about the overall build quality and design. Let me turn off the display so I don't start pushing all types of buttons. Now, talking about the overall build quality, this device is made primarily out of plastic materials, okay? So we got a plastic unibody and we got an overall plastic design. So plastic buttons, plastic unibody, plastic midframe, plastic everything on this one, right? And then we got a Dragon Trail glass display up front. So in terms of the build materials, that's what we're working with on this one. Okay? Now, talking about the overall design, we got the standard Pixel design here. So we got that frosted imitation glass up top here. Then we got this nice sleek off-white with our colored power button here and volume rockers to match the frame. And you can see we're rocking one primary camera and flash and one front-facing secondary camera and that display. Okay, so in terms of the design, we got a standard Pixel-esque design here. Now, giving y'all my overall opinions on the build quality and design on the whole, I actually have to say I'm a really big fan of this design. It kind of gives me shades of the Pixel 2 XL. It kind of carried over all the good stuff from the Pixel 2 XL and the Pixel 3 and 3 XL and put it into this nice affordable device. So overall, I have to say I'm a big fan of the build quality and the design on this. If I had one gripe about the overall build quality, it would have to be the plastic. Now, this plastic bends extremely easily and it scratches extremely easily, but it does give it a nice balance and nice feel in the hands and nice weight in the hands, and it does make it extremely durable when it's dropped. And I don't even know if you can see it, but this device has pretty much been in a case all its life, and I got one faint scratch right here, and I don't know how I got that. I don't know how I got that at all. So that's my one gripe with the overall build quality, but I am a fan of the build quality and design. And let me throw this case on because I'm super scared I'm going to drop this device right now. So let's not waste any time and throw this case on, add that necessary grip and extra protection. Alright, so now we are good to go. I feel much better now with the case on the device. But overall build quality and design on this one is really, really good. Really good indeed. Now, talking about this display, up front, dead center here, we have a 6-inch 1080p plus 18.5 by 9 OLED display. Alright? 6-inch OLED display. Okay? With a screen density of 402 pixels per inch. And honestly, y'all, talking about the display in terms of the day-to-day performance, it really is a really good display, and I haven't had any issues with it. Now, using the display indoors, or using the device indoors with the display, I typically keep it a little bit below 50%, so about 40-45%. And then using it outdoors, I have to up that brightness to about 85% and above, and I haven't had any issues. But talking about the overall display performance, it is top notch in my overall opinion. And I really do like the fact that they kept the flagship always on display feature carried down from the more expensive Pixels. And that's thanks in large part to the OLED display that they have on this one. So I really am a big fan of that. But overall, when we talk about the display, it is really good. Really good indeed, if not top notch. Okay, so let's keep it moving now. Now let's expand in a little bit more detail and depth on the overall hardware and then get into my overall day-to-day performance experiences with the software. Alright? Now, hardware-wise, this bad boy is packing 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage. Okay? We have a 12 megapixel primary camera on the rear that records up to 4K 30 FPS. Okay? We do have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack that does support very nice plug-and-play features for headphones or external microphones. So really, really good stuff there. We got an always active capacitive fingerprint sensor on the rear that is super fast. Let me show y'all. Tap. It opens right up. So super fast, super responsive fingerprint sensor. Really good overall performance on this one. And we do have a dual speaker setup. So we got one bottom firing speaker and one front firing speaker here. So very happy to see a dual speaker setup on here. Flipping it over to the front, the 8 megapixel front facing camera can record up to 1080p at 30 FPS. Okay, no more, no less. And going back to the rear, we can do slow motion recording at 1080p at 120 frames per second and 720p at 240 frames per second. Okay, talking about the battery on this one, this bad boy is packing a 3700 milliamp hour battery on board. Talking about the charging, this does support 18 watt 2.0 direct power delivery rapid charging. So really good stuff there. And I gotta tell y'all, spoiler alert, the battery on this one and the charging times on this one are really good. We're gonna expand on that a little bit later on. Alright, now in terms of the hardware, what's missing? We don't have any waterproofing on here, so no waterproofing on this one. And we don't have any micro SD card expansion. Other than that, this is some really good overall solid hardware. Talking about the chipset on board here, we got the Snapdragon 670 octa-core chipset, and we have the Adreno 615 GPU, and I feel like that is a really, really solid overall package for this device. But as I said, the only things that I feel we're missing in terms of the hardware is waterproofing and more internal storage and no micro SD card support. So those are negatives in my opinion, so that downgrades the hardware from top notch to really good in my overall opinion, especially with the fact that it comes with only 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage. They really should have offered this in more RAM storage configurations. I would have liked to have seen a 4128 or a 4256 or a 6256, just to name a few RAM storage configurations. That would have really helped because there is no micro SD card expansion, and the cameras and the overall performance on this device is really good. So there was a lot of times where I was like, man, that video came out great, but I was hindered because I couldn't edit all of that video on the device because we didn't have enough internal storage. So I really feel like they should have offered micro SD card expansion or gave us more storage and RAM options. Alright, so that's how I feel about the overall hardware. Really good overall. Talking about the overall software on this one, this is running one of the most up-to-date versions of Android on here. We're rocking Android 11 with the latest March 5th or March 1st security patch. Let me show y'all real quick. So we jump into the settings and we jump into security. And y'all can see, yep, we're rocking the latest Android 11 and we're rocking the latest security patch in March 5th. So we are fully up to date. March 5th for the security patch for the system, March 1st for the Play Store. So we're fully up to date and we're rocking Android 11. So in terms of software, you are fully protected and up to date with security. Now, talking about the overall software performance, I have to say it has been really, really good on this device. Regardless of how many applications or anything I have open, no issues with the overall software and performance. Really good stuff overall. So talking about the software from a day-to-day performance aspect, it is top notch, and the Pixel team has done a great job. Now, I'm not trying to say the G word because it would trigger all the devices in my room, and it might even trigger my studio lights. But the Pixel team, we're going to call the G people the Pixel team for the remainder of this video, have done a great job with this device in terms of the software. Alright, so good stuff there, good stuff indeed. Okay, so that goes over the hardware, that goes over the software. If I had to sum it up, the hardware is really good, the software is top notch. Alright, moving on now, let's talk about the overall Wi-Fi and get into the overall Wi-Fi performance. Now, Wi-Fi wise, this bad boy does support the latest and greatest Wi-Fi. So we do have dual band Wi-Fi support on here. So 2.4 gigahertz band, we're good. 5 gigahertz band, we're good. And I gotta tell y'all, in terms of the Wi-Fi and the day-to-day performance, it has been top notch. But let me turn up these speakers. Okay, max these speakers out. And let me spin this camera around. Let me spin this mic around. And I'm going to give y'all a Wi-Fi performance test in real time that will also double as a speaker test as well. So let's pull up YouTube, let's pull up some copyright-free music, and let's get to this test, and let's see how it does. Okay, max volume, let's rewind the track, and let's go ahead and push play. Now I'm going to rest it down here so y'all can hear it unobstructed. Then we're going to get into that speaker demonstration and that Wi-Fi performance. So I hope y'all enjoyed this real quick clip. Let's go ahead and do it now. Let's go. Let me push play. Alright, so real quick Wi-Fi performance test, real quick speaker test as well. And I'm sorry that I kind of messed that up, but we kind of super sweaty back here. Had to turn the fan off, and it is really hot today. But when we did that speaker performance test, I didn't really want anything to hinder that because I want y'all to get a really good overall speaker sample. So I'm kind of super sweaty back here, but it is what it is. I do what I have to do. But real quick Wi-Fi performance test, real quick speaker test as well. Let me know what y'all think. Let me go ahead and share my thoughts now. In terms of the Wi-Fi, as I said, it was pretty much top notch. No issues whatsoever. In terms of the overall speaker placement and overall speaker performance, it is really, really good. In terms of the performance, it is really good. In terms of the placement, not a fan of the placement on this. Now, I do appreciate the fact that we have a stereo speaker setup, but I don't like the fact that it's one bottom firing speaker and one front firing speaker, and I don't like the fact that it's severely unbalanced, as you can hear from the demonstration that I just did. So I really would have liked two dual front firing speakers that were nicely balanced, but overall I have to say it's really good. Okay, not quite top notch, but really good. But the overall Wi-Fi performance on here is top notch indeed. All right, let's keep it moving now. Now let's talk about the overall LTE and available bands on this device. Now LTE wise, this bad boy is a 4G only device, so we don't have any 5G on here, but this has all the bands for all of your major carriers and all your GSM carriers as well. So you can see all the bands are right there. Now if this is unclear, I'll throw up a screenshot in post, but you have all the bands and coverage and support for all of the major carriers. So Verizon, we're good. Sprint, we're good. AT&T, we're good. T-Mobile, we're good. And any of their MVNOs. Metro, we're good. Cricket, we're good. Boost, we're good. You should be good to go on this one. And as long as your carrier has these available bands, you shouldn't have any issues. Okay? So in terms of the LTE and supported bands, this one gets a top-notch rating from me. Okay? And also, if you're on Google Fi, shouldn't have any issues with this one either. Alright? So good stuff indeed. Now moving on here, let's talk about the overall Bluetooth performance. Okay, we're trying to get through this quick, fast, and in a hurry. So talking about the Bluetooth here, this bad boy is packing Bluetooth 5.0 technology on board. And I gotta tell y'all, the overall Bluetooth performance on this one has been top notch. So here you can see just some of the devices that I've connected up to it, two of my favorite sets of earbuds, and they've worked pretty much without issue. So overall Bluetooth performance on here is top notch indeed. Didn't have any problems. Also, let's talk about the GPS performance. Again, I'm not going to bore you guys with benchmarks and all that good stuff. I'm just going to give you my overall opinion based on my experience. Okay, that will cut down on the video and make it a little bit quicker, and you will still get the same information. So talking about the GPS performance, again, it was top-notch, turn-by-turn navigation, anything that I needed to do that needed to take advantage of the onboard GPS worked with no issues. Turn-by-turn navigation, geocaching, geotagging, it all worked perfectly, no problems. So top-notch on the Bluetooth performance, top-notch on the GPS performance. Let's move on now. Now, let me talk to everyone about the overall call quality for the receiver and call quality for the built-in speaker, because after all, this is a phone and some of us still like to take phone calls. All right, now talking about the overall call quality from the onboard receiver, I have to say it is really good. Now it is lacking a little bit in volume. I do wish the calls from the onboard receiver got a little bit louder, but it is clear and I had no issues hearing the callers on the other end, and they didn't have any issues hearing me. But I do wish it got a little bit louder. So that's why it's just really good, in my opinion, not quite top notch. Talking about the built-in speaker, however, for speakerphone calls, that was top notch. It got nice, crystal clear and loud. And again, no issues hearing the callers on the other end, and they didn't have any issues hearing me. Okay? Now, one thing that I want to mention when we talk about call quality, that has large part to do with your carrier and your overall location and coverage for that carrier. So your guys and gals results may vary. But that's also why I always recommend that before you get a device or you get a carrier and you lock yourself into a monthly contract, let's not let the people lie to you, bro or ladies. It's still a contract. It's just a cancel anytime you want contract. But they're still locking you in for a monthly fee. Alright? So before you get locked in with these carriers for the monthly contract, I recommend you do your research on the coverage for the carrier that you're looking at in your specific area and just how good their overall performance is for call quality and data speeds. Alright? Now in my particular area, which is in Florida, the best two carriers in my area are Verizon or AT&T. That's why I have exclusively now a Verizon Straight Talk SIM and a Free Up Mobile AT&T SIM, because those are the best two carriers in the area that I stay in. Alright? So, Your results may vary in terms of phone calls based on your location and your carrier coverage. It's one thing that I wanted to point out. Alright, but overall call quality through the receiver is really good. Overall call quality through the onboard speaker is top notch. Let's keep it moving now. Up next now, I just want to give everyone my overall opinions on the cameras on this bad boy. Okay? And then we're going to keep it moving. So when I talk about the cameras on devices, I judge it from three distinctive categories. Point and shoot photo performance, point and shoot video capture capabilities, and overall audio capture capabilities. Alright? And once again, 1080p recording with the front-facing camera, maximum 30 FPS. 4K recording with the rear-facing 12-megapixel camera, maximum 30 FPS. Okay? Now, that being said, in terms of the photo performance, it was top-notch. No issues with the overall photo performance on this one. 9 times out of 10, any photo that I wanted to take came out perfectly. Okay? Perfectly. I rarely ever had to reshoot. So the overall photo performance on the Pixel 3a XL is top-notch. And the overall video performance on the Pixel 3a XL is really good. Google has made some really nice strides in their overall video performance, and a lot of the videos that I took on this device, I rarely ever felt the need to go back and reshoot them or do some heavy post-editing or post-processing on them. So really good overall video performance. Not the best, not top-notch, but overall it's really solid and I didn't have any issues with it. Okay, so top-notch photo performance, really good overall video performance, and top-notch audio capture capabilities. This bad boy was able to capture some really good audio, and again, as I said, I rarely, if ever, had to go back and re-record because of bad audio, or I rarely, if ever, had to go back and do a voiceover to fix something. The overall microphone performance on the Pixel 3a XL is top-notch. Okay, so really good overall cameras on this device. Whether you're picking it up for photos and or for videos or content creation, you should be good to go. Just be mindful of the available storage. Okay, because that's the one hindrance that I kept running into with this device. Okay, always had to offload or do some readjusting so I can get the editing done because it doesn't have the most internal storage. Alright, overall cameras on here, top notch indeed. Now I've done a separate dedicated camera performance video. I'll link it down below, and if I remember, I'll throw up a card to it. Please feel free to check that video out. Let me know what you think of the overall photo performance, the overall video performance. Just let me know your overall opinions on the device in general in that video. Come back and let me know what you think down below in the comments of this video as well. All feedback, as always, is greatly appreciated, and keep it respectful, please. Alright? So, let's move on now. Let's move on to talking about the gaming performance. Now, once again, I've done a separate dedicated gaming performance video, and I have to say, this device did a really good job. Now, there was a noticeable performance dip after extended gameplay, but it really didn't hinder the overall gaming experience. But it was not the best and it was not the smoothest. That's why I say it's just overall really good when we talk about the gaming performance. Okay? So really good gaming performance, top-notch camera performance. Alright? Let's keep it moving now. Up next, let's talk about a really important category to me. Let's talk about the overall battery life and the overall charge times on this device. Okay? Talking about the battery life first, some things you have to keep in mind is your particular usage, the resolution and the display technology for the device. So again, 6-inch, 1080p plus display, OLED technology on here. So really battery efficient. Then you have to keep in mind what you're doing with the device and the battery capacity. Again, 3700 milliamp hour battery on here, quick charge, direct power delivery 2.0, USB Type-C fast charging on here, or rapid charging on here. Okay, so talking about the overall battery life after reiterating those key specifications again, my battery life with extremely heavy usage was actually really good. I could easily get through a 15 to 24 hour workday, and I was averaging between 9 and 12 hours of screen on time. So that's really good overall battery life in my opinion, close to rivaling the Moto G Power. Not quite, but really good overall. So battery life on this device is really good. Now, charge times on this device are top notch. So I did my charging testing from 5% to 100, 3 to 5 times, 10% to 100, 3 to 5 times, 15% to 100, 3 to 5 times, and 20% to 100, 3 to 5 times. And this bad boy averaged a full charge in about an hour and 45 minutes to an hour and 55 minutes. So that's really good overall charge times in my opinion, if not top notch. Okay? And again, that's charging to full. If you don't charge your device to full, you will get faster charge times. And let me just go ahead and show y'all real quickly the overall battery health after putting it through my review process. So let's pull up AccuBattery here. Let me go to battery health. And you can see I did charge it once today. So if we go to discharging, as of right now, as of the recording of this video, it's at 94%. And if we go to battery health, the battery health on here is 97%. So out of the 3700 milliamp hour battery, we still got 3588 milliamp hours. Okay, and I did pick this up from the Amazon Renewed program. So I was very happy to see that 97% battery health after putting it through some battery cycles. So that's the battery health for y'all. And that goes over the overall charge times and the overall battery life. So really good overall battery life and really good overall charge times. Okay? Now, let's get into the final part of this video. Let's talk pricing. Let's talk availability. Let me share my final thoughts and make an overall recommendation or two. Okay? So, in terms of the pricing here, the device ran me, after taxes, $181.35, somewhere like that. I'll have the screenshot thrown up in post. The case and screen protector ran me about $13.58. So a grand total, everything y'all see in the video, ran me $194 and change. So let me see, let me do the quick math here. Let me pull up my receipt from Amazon. So the case and screen protector ran me a total of $13.58. And the device itself, after taxes, on the Amazon Renewed program, ran me $181.38. Okay? So that gives us a grand total of $194.96 for everything y'all see in the video. Okay? And for that price, can I recommend that y'all pick up this device? Well, did that rhyme? Hashtag bars. For that price, can I recommend y'all pick up this device? Yeah, I think it did. Hashtag bars. Can I recommend that y'all pick up this device? Well, as long as you're mindful of the negatives that I pointed out throughout this video. So in particular, the lack of more internal storage and micro SD card expansion, and the unbalanced speakers, which were pretty much the only two big negatives in my opinion. If you're mindful of those negatives and they're not deal breakers for you, then yes, I could recommend that y'all pick this one up. You should have an overall enjoyable experience in my opinion. Okay? So once again, can I recommend this device for y'all? Even here in early 2021, I would have to say yes. Okay? And y'all stay tuned, because versus/comparison video between the Pixel 3a XL and the Moto G Power coming soon. Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. Okay? So y'all stay tuned for that, where I'm going to make an overall recommendation in that video as well. Okay? But that pretty much does it for the Pixel 3a XL and its coverage. I hope y'all enjoyed all of the coverage that I brought to you guys on this device. And as always, I hope you guys and gals found it helpful. If you did indeed enjoy the coverage and or you found it helpful, please help your boy out by giving the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. If you would like to see more content like this, also feel free to hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when I publish new videos. And as always, if this video piqued your interest and you would like to know where you can pick up this device and its associated accessories, all those affiliated links will be available down below in the video description. So as always, if your interest is piqued, down below in the video description will be like a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go. And I'm going to be really interested to hear everyone's thoughts on this video, and here's why. Because this video here today was recorded using the primary 13 megapixel camera on the OnePlus Nord N100. And it was being recorded in 720p at 30 FPS with external audio hooked up. So we are using the Movo MA2010 omnidirectional microphone. So please, as always, let me know what you think of the overall video quality as well as what you think of the overall audio quality down below. All your feedback, as always, is greatly appreciated, and keep it respectful, please. Okay? That being said, I hope everyone has a great day. I hope you guys and gals stay safe out there, and I will catch everyone in the next one. Have a good one, everybody. We are out of here. Peace.